Hello, hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Hopefully you can hear me better tonight. Hey, Crashly. Hey, Jen. So my voice is back, but it's not great. So just so you know. Hi, Beth. How are you? All right. So Crashly asked me, do I have to get any type of yarn or is yarn all the same? Yarn is not all the same. Hey, Robin. Hey, Odd But Nice. So yarn is different, Crashly. So here's the pattern. Odd just dropped that link. Thank you, Odd. And you want to hear me sing a song? Really? So yarn is different in the pattern, Crashly, and in my first two tutorials, it will tell you what kind of yarn that you need to be able to do this project. Hey, Therese. Hi, Teddy, if you're listening. So I have to have the lamp on when I work with these dark colors, guys. So this is where your tutorial is going to end here, right there. And I'm actually going to set this one aside and pull out the other one because it shows up better on camera. Yes, you can get it at Walmart. Hey, girl. It's Mayhem. So yes, you can get yarn at Walmart. That is perfectly fine. You can even find this brand of yarn that I'm using at Walmart. So I'm using the Red Heart mostly, and that can be found at Walmart. So let me just get myself organized here. I am about 2 days behind on everything that I'm doing. And yeah, it's been a week. So Sunday, I didn't go to anybody's live because I was asleep. I slept pretty much all day on Sunday. Never really woke up, kind of was up, like an hour here, an hour there, and slept most of the rest of the day. So please forgive me if you were looking for me and I wasn't there. And then I got up, went to work Monday, which those of you that are part of the DP-a-thon, you heard my voice when I did that little tutorial about how to schedule a live, and it didn't get any better. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just frogging this whole section here. This is my test section and I messed it up. So we are going to start over and I'm going to kind of go over this with you guys tonight. I know I didn't get the video up until just like an hour ago. So I'm sure that most of y'all are like, okay, listen. Hey, Elliot. Hey, Jen. Jen's doing dishes in the bathroom because her plumbing is messed up. And her plumber got the flu, I guess, is what she just told us. And I'm like, listen, that's not the kind of job where you're able to get the flu. Like, you need to be where you're supposed to be. Okay, so let's talk about, while I'm doing this, let's talk about DP-a-thon this weekend. At the moment, I have all of the spaces filled, I think. I'm waiting on one answer back. I did have someone pull out earlier today, but somebody had already asked for that spot. And so I'm going to see what their answer is. And if they want it, then they can have it. But all the spots are filled. And it will be a mix between lives and premieres. So we had some spots, some people could only do premieres, but they really wanted to participate. So Mayhem came up with a great idea of letting them do a premiere instead of a live. So it's going to be a mix this time around. Okay, guys. So does anybody have any questions for me? That was hard to watch. Yeah, this was just the test piece. So Mayhem is my my pattern tester because she's impatient. And so we were working on this the other night and trying to make it all work together. And I was trying to like remember how to do this because it's been over a year since I've done one of these blankets like this. So I was trying to remember all my little tricks and things. Okay, so if you look right here, we have squared off. That video will show you how to square off your end, okay? So we have squared off. And what we're going to do on this particular blanket, I'm actually going to be making chevrons. And so because I'm going to be making chevrons, I need to start with the same color that I just finished with. Those of you that are doing the actual pattern, this right here, this corner piece is going to be your neutral. And this piece over here is going to be color A. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of show you how to do this. Even though it didn't work very well the last time, we're going to go through and I'm just going to walk you through this while I'm doing it. So in this chain 3 space, this is your short edge, and we're going to be crocheting along the long edge of your piece. So what you're going to do is some people will have a chain 3 space here, some people won't. See how this doesn't have a chain 3 space? So what you're going to do, if you have that, you can slip that in there, or you can slip it into the top of one of the stitches that you have here. It's completely up to you, whatever you have. And you're going to slip stitch it on and then chain 3. Okay? We're going to be working in between the clusters. So if this is a cluster here, this is a cluster here, we're going to be working in these spaces in between those clusters. That's how we're going to attach it. So this is why it's called a join as you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 3 double, nope, see, look at me. Let's try that again. Delete, delete, delete. What you're going to do is you're going to chain 3, and then in between the first cluster and the second cluster, you are going to insert your hook and do a slip stitch. Okay? So what that basically does is it lays down a chain for us to stitch into. Is anybody following? Does anybody got questions? Have I lost 50 people? That's always a good question. And again, the video covers this a little bit better. So I'm not going to spend like a ton of time on it. But yeah, so that's basically what you do. So you're going to slip stitch, chain 3, lay that chain between the first cluster and the second cluster, and chain 3. Yeah, it took us quite a while to get this one figured out. Then you're going to flip your work, and you're going to do 3 double crochets into this chain space. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And I can hear the sirens, guys, so the fire truck's probably fixing to go by. So just bear with it. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Okay, and you're going to create your cluster here. Then you're going to chain 6. And create another cluster. Hey, Aussie girl, yeah, I had to, it wouldn't let me go into that link for some reason. So I had to come on over here to this link with StreamYard because YouTube is not the easiest thing to navigate. Hi, Pippa. How are you? Pippa Odd put the link that you were asking for a little bit further up. Okay. So, what happened this week? So this week, one, I got sick. Yay. But at least it happened this last weekend and not the weekend coming up, because DP-a-thon is already a lot of work, and I can't imagine doing it all when I was sick. So I was able to take a day off on Sunday and be sick, to where next Sunday I wouldn't have necessarily been able to do that. So Pippa, I am basically restitching the part that is in the tutorial that I put up about an hour ago. Yeah, I am feeling much better. I'm sure y'all can probably still hear it in my voice. My throat still hurts. I don't know what this is, but it's for the birds, that's for sure. But yeah, so we did that. I found out this week also. I think everybody on here knows this already, but I am on the committee for the St. Jude Walk Run in Dallas. And last year I was the logistics chair. This year I will be the event experience chair. And so they have what we call VLC, or the Volunteer Leadership Conference. And we go to Memphis, which is where the hospital is. And we have, breakout sessions where we talk about the best ways to raise money and get people involved and, ask for sponsorships and all of that kind of stuff. And we get to go to the hospital. So we actually get to go into the hospital. We get to tour it and see all the different things that they have, the things that they offer for the families. They talk about the experience that the kids and the families go through, when they're being checked in and all of that kind of stuff while they're there. And then we have what are called breakout sessions. So we'll split up and we'll kind of go to like 1 hour classes about different things. And it's really nice. It's a good way to network. So we get to meet other people from all the other walks. There's 35 walks that they do in the United States. So there's someone there from every single walk. So last year, I met a lot of nice people. And, it's one of those things where yes, we're kind of competing against each other, but at the same time, we're all raising money for the same organization. And so it's nice to be able to, get ideas and things like that. And I cannot wait to tell them how much money you guys raised for St. Jude. And hopefully they'll be able to put that into practice. Hi, Sherry. How are you doing today? And somebody else came in. There's Rebecca. I'm just over here chit-chatting, guys. All right, let's see. I can go back to the chat. How far along is everyone? I'm up to the end of the last chunk of the first strip and doing the decreasing on both sides tonight, probably. Yeah, that part shouldn't take you very long. I think it took me about 10 minutes. So it should only take you guys just a little bit to do that part of it. And my hands yesterday, when I was filming that video, my hands were not functioning. Like, do y'all ever get like that when you're doing your projects and your hands just don't do what you tell them to? It's super annoying, and I just couldn't get it together last night. But I got the video up. There's Sherry. Chilling right now, having dinner. I'm going to be doing that after this video while Sherry is on. I added one more color to make it a bit wider. So did you make it longer or did you make it wider? Because if you made it longer, that's fine. This is a baby blanket. So this one is not as long as my other strip is. This one is only, well, we can measure it. Hold on. Let me get out my measuring tape. So it is 39 and close enough to 40. So we're going to call it 40. So we're going to say this is about 40 inches long. Now my other strip on the darker colored one, this one is over 60 inches. So let's see how long this one is. We're just going to do some measuring. Hey, Kelly, how are you? It's okay, Pippa, because I did not start out this speedy either. This is from years and years and years of doing this. So, yeah. I'm doing much better, Sherry. Hi, Dearly Crafted. Oop, cancel. You have 5 colors and a neutral. Okay, that's fine, Pippa. So basically what you're going to do is just work it into the pattern. And if you need help, just let me know. It reached my floor over my knees. So it should fit it. Yeah, this is almost twin sized. If you're working on the same measurements as I'm working on. All right, let's see. There's 20. There's 40. So mine is 68.5 inches long. So if somebody wants to convert that to feet or whatever, it's 68.5 inches long. So it's a good sized one. That's going to be for me on the couch. So that'll be a perfect couch blanket. It won't be too big, but it won't be too small. Yeah, once you get the hang of it, this is one of those stitches. It took me about 2 blankets when I first started using this stitch. It took me about 2 blankets to really get a feel, to really get a good rhythm going. And once I did that, this is the stitch. I can sit in front of the TV. I can watch a movie. I can listen to a book. This is one I can do out in public. You know, because you don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention. What happened to Jen? Jen, did you fall in? Yeah, so Pippa, that's what I was talking about when you, Pippa says that she runs over the 8 and has to frog it back out. So I use the stitch markers, which now I can't find one, of course. So you can use a stitch marker. So I put in a visual indicator. So I have these stitch markers here. You don't have to go out and buy them. If you can get a color of yarn, you can take a piece of yarn about 2 inches long and stick it in just so that you're seeing something that reminds you that that side is, so you can see I've got blue ones and orange ones. That just tells you that that side is where you need to stop. So that's what I do, is I put a stitch marker in just as that visual reminder of where I'm at. So that will help if you put it over on that side where you're not supposed to increase anymore. That always helped me. All right, let's see. Oh, I got to go read Jen's comment. If it had to be approved, that means it's good. Oh, you know what, guys? I was on top chat instead of live chat. I apologize. Let me scroll back. Hey, Tebecca. How you doing? Yes, please give me a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You've been too long on the floor and you're stuck. Yeah, I get that. So Rebecca's is just over 5 foot. Did somebody help J-Rob up? Pippa had to frog 4 rows last night and only caught up with 2 before I was thrown into the bath and then bed. Yeah, I completely understand that. So Jen is under dog attack. That is the problem there. Rebecca, I am feeling better today. I know I sound much, much, much better than I did, especially those of you, like I said, if you guys heard my voice yesterday, it was bad. Or Monday. What's today? Is today Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. Sherry's here, so I've got a squirrel for her. Anyhoozle. So I was talking about St. Jude. So I'm going to end up going to that conference. So we'll film it while I'm up there. I won't film like the whole thing because, you know, we can't do that. But we're going to get to stay in the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. And one of the cool things about the Peabody Hotel is the Peabody Hotel has live ducks that swim around in their fancy fountain all day long. And they have a minder, like they have a duck minder. And it's his job to take care of them. And so I will get you some footage of the duck march, just so you know. That it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. They just like go and chill out and do their thing. They swim around in the fountain all day, and then in the evenings they do the duck march. Basically, they round them all up out of the fountain, and the ducks walk along a red carpet to the elevator, and then they all get on the elevator with their minder, and they go back up to their roost that they maintain and have their dinner and all that kind of stuff. And then in the mornings, here they come down in the mornings and they go to the fountain and they hang out. Like, I'm just saying, that is the life, right? The duck march is so freaking cool. So yeah, so I'll do that, and I know I'll be bringing some prizes, maybe a giveaway prize or 2 back from Memphis with me. And I think, let's see, Rebecca got one of the Christmas ornaments that I purchased last year while I was there. So she got a St. Jude Christmas ornament that she won in my impromptu Christmas tree giveaway. Did Charlie come in? Hi, Charlie Berry. So yeah, it's a really cool thing that they do. I think we're going to try to go out in Memphis this year. We didn't go last year. We were just too tired because we literally flew in Thursday and we got there at like 4:30. Got to the airport at 4:30, and then by the time we got to the hotel, it was 5, and we had to be at a reception at 6. So it was get there, change clothes, you know, and then go be social with people. So I think we're flying in a little bit earlier this year, fingers crossed, and we will be able to actually have the energy to go into town and see stuff, because you're in Memphis. You can go see the Blues, and, you know, I mean, there's so many things to go and do. So that's the plan there. And then March, we'll start back with the Scottish festivals. And it'll start back the first weekend in March is the first Scottish festival. And it's really the Irish festival, but we don't tell them that. So Diamond Art Addiction says, when the Canadian geese come back north from south, I will try to get them in flight on camera. So that's actually really cool. They come through Texas. When they migrate north and south, they come through Texas. And so it's one of those really cool things. I have a soccer fields across the street from me, and literally you'll hear them, and one morning it'll just be covered in geese. It's the craziest thing. My fingers are flying. So Sherry lives close to Jasper National Park, where you can walk right up to them, get close, and they chase you. Okay, so wait. Beth says eat all the barbecue. But Beth, here's the problem. I'm from Texas, and Tennessee barbecue is not good. It is not Texas approved. We had barbecue last year, Maybe it was the place that we got it from, but it's too sweet. Down here in Texas, ours is a lot more smoky. And I was not, and I usually love sweet stuff, but I was not about the Tennessee barbecue. I was like, pass. So hard pass on that. They do have their own, the Peabody has its own St. Jude drink, cocktail, whatever you would like to call it, libation. That, however, is fantastic, and I will have more of that this year. So, yeah. Hi, Samantha. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so it's like different parts of Texas do barbecue differently, and different states do barbecue differently. It was not a thing. It didn't work for me. So, yeah. But we're going to do that, and we actually get to stay in the Peabody this year. I'm pretty sure it's probably haunted because I think it's like 180 years old or something like that. So this is the problem when you frog things, guys, is you a lot of times make a mess. I should have wound it as I frogged it, but whatevs. We'll make it work. So if anybody is in or near Memphis and you want to come hang out in the evening with me, I would love to meet you. But I can understand if you do not want to. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're flying home. Let's see, are you going through North Carolina to get to Tennessee? We are not. We're flying. And it's a direct, as far as I know at the moment, it's a direct flight to Memphis, from Dallas to Memphis. And then coming back, we're going through Tampa. We have a layover in Tampa, Florida. I don't even understand that knowledge, or that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, apparently we're flying, when we come home on Saturday, we're flying from Memphis to Tampa to Dallas. So if you can tell me how that makes sense, great. Dearly says she's going to pop right over to Memphis and say hi. Come on, girl. But yeah, so I'll be in Memphis. I know they've actually been getting winter this year, so that'll be a change. Today was the first day, I think, that I've actually had to wear my winter jacket. And it was only in the 40s. So, yeah. Dearly is laughing. Mayhem's rolling. They make fun of me because I'm like, it's cold. It's not actually cold for them. It was 19 there. So I know our height, I think it got to about 40. However, I don't think it ever got over 40. So see right here, this is where I should have put a marker in. Hold on, guys. I got to see where I'm at. Okay. So what I did is I got confused because I'm doing the chevron style. So my whites were kind of blending together. So what I did, if you ever get lost in your pattern like that, you're not sure where you are, because when we get up to this point right here, I have to stop to keep the angle correct. So what I did is I laid it back out flat to find my straight edge. So I can see right here is where my pattern's joined. So you can see right here, if you really look at it, you can see where you join in. So here, 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 and here. Those are our joins. When you're doing it white on white, you don't notice it so much. When you do the darker colors, you guys, or when you do the colors and you start joining them, if you look, you can see where they are joined together. And I gave you a solution for that in the video because Mayhem didn't like this. So as my pattern tester, she said, no, I don't like that. What else can we do? And so I give you another option so that you're not seeing that overlap if you don't like it. I actually really like it. I think it looks kind of cute. But that is personal choice, and I won't get upset if you guys don't like it. Canadians are finally able to go outside and our faces don't freeze in under 60 seconds. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is, you know, cold is relative. Now, granted, in the summertime, when we're down here baking at 100 plus degrees, generally you guys don't have those kinds of temperatures to deal with. Generally. I don't say you never do, but I can remember I played softball. We were a softball family as a kid. The whole family played, all the girls played softball. And I can remember playing softball, no lie, guys. And it was 120 degrees outside. Nowadays, they wouldn't have let us play, you know, because we understand about heat stroke and heat exhaustion and, you know, children kicking over and dying and things like that in that kind of extreme heat. But, you know, it was the late 90s. So we were playing softball. And our catcher passed out in the first like 5 minutes of the game, just completely passed out. And so I was the backup catcher. All of our equipment, the chest guard, the helmet, the shin guards, everything was solid black. And so they literally took me around behind the dugout before they put the catching equipment on me. And they took the water hose, which, by the way, was bath water, warm, hosed me down and completely soaking wet, put all of the catching equipment on me, hosed me down again. So all of the equipment was then wet. And let me tell you what, I'm going to say this, and this is going to be an overshare. You have never had chafing like you have from catching equipment in different places, especially when it is wet. So yeah, so they hosed me down and I went out, I finished the inning, which took probably about 20 minutes. And by the time that I was done, I was completely dry. So 20 minutes, I was completely bone dry from being completely soaking wet. So yeah, that was the longest game. I can't even imagine what our parents were thinking, but we played and yeah, 120 degrees. So yeah, good times. Oh, mayhem. Pippa says, my kid's school repeatedly on sports day would not have sunscreen and allowed my Irish kid out in the Tasmanian sun with no ozone layer to protect him. He couldn't put shoes on for days. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. That is insane. So, yeah, like I know, you know, nowadays schools are much more protective. They have to be than they used to be. You know, most of us when we were growing up, it was like go outside and play. Like in the summertime, we would be outside all day, 102, 105. You know, you could come in during the hottest parts of the day. But like I was raised in a household, you got up, you had breakfast, and you went outside and you played. And then about noon to 2 o'clock, you'd come back inside. That's the hottest part of the day. And then you went right back outside from about 3 o'clock or so until it was dark. And then your butt better be inside when that porch light came on. I mean, that's how we were raised. So, yeah. Oh, thank you for coming, Sherry. I will be with you here shortly. Hi, Christy. How are you? Yeah, those were second up days, Beth. Yep. Well, I can remember, like, you know, I used to play in the mud and like play mud pies. I had like a whole outdoor kitchen set up out there, old pots and pans and things like that. I mean, that was the life, though. You know, you'd leave the house, and I grew up in a town where like I could leave the house and I could be wherever. And my grandma knew where I was, even though we didn't have cell phones, because that woman had a network. Let me tell you something, y'all. You ain't seen networking like Southern older women can network, okay? Seriously. I moved to Dallas about 10 years ago. And I think I'd been here about 3 months. And my grandma calls me. I hadn't called her. My grandma calls me and she's like, "Oh, I heard you were at the mall with this person. Da 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 da." And I'm like, "I am 300 miles away from you. How do you know what I'm doing?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you know such and such." I'm like, "No, not really, but okay." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, her daughter in law's son's girlfriend or something like that saw you. And then she called me to let me know where you were." Like, it's that kind of networking, guys. I don't know how she does it, but it's scary. Scary. Yeah. So if you're from the South, you know that kind of networking. Probably in the North, too. They probably could do that. How did I say network? Outdoor kitchens and real living. That's right. Yeah, those slides, oh my gosh. In the summertime, didn't go down those slides. Took a towel with you so you could put the towel down and then slide down on top of the towel. My mom would have your social security number and your DNA within 5 minutes of meeting someone. Exactly. Exactly. Like, y'all, nobody can network like moms can network. They will know everything. I never tried to get away with anything because I knew it wasn't going to happen. 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay. So this one is slightly different from the way that I told you guys to do the other one, because I actually accidentally added a row when I was closing this one off. So just kind of bear with me here. Yeah, those slides were really bad. Then you would get stuck halfway down on the towel. Y'all, our childhoods were so messed up. I can remember being in, there's a place out here in Texas, out in far west Texas. It's called Monahans, and they've got sand dunes. Kind of like if you imagine the Sahara, and all those sand dunes. And so you could go out there and you could camp out, and you could take basically what y'all would call a sled. We would slide down the sand dunes in those. And we got out there, my cousins, all the cousins and everything, we get out there and we've been sledding. And then it's time to go back and we get lost. And I think actually what it was is one of my cousins was messing with me. But yeah, pretty sure we were lost for a while. And our uncle had to come and find us. But, just walking around on some sand dunes, middle of the summer, no big deal. The towel dance on a hot slide. Yeah. Yep. And I remember when I was young, we didn't put on sunscreen. Like, I know it's different in Australia because that's where the ozone is the thinnest. But I didn't start wearing sunscreen until I was in college. No lie. Maybe high school. You lived in Euless and we had them in our complex. We waited till early morning or when the sun went down. Yep, exactly. And even in the middle of the night, if it was hot enough, you could still feel it. This up, but we're going to try to make it work anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, those were the days. Cool. Yeah, I can remember Mayhem said, "Use sun in to lighten my hair." Yeah, so I can remember my mom and like my aunts literally applying, just like slathering themselves in baby oil. Y'all probably remember that too. Just slathering themselves in baby oil and then laying out. And then on top of that, when they would have those like sun things, the like the reflective, you know, like you put in your car windows to reflect the sun away from your car, they would be using those to direct more sun onto them. It's insane. It's completely insane. Okay, so Crashly, you can do 3 colors, you can do 2 colors, or you can do 5 colors. You can do any combination of colors, really. This is the extra blanket that I'm doing. So this one is not the actual pattern. So the actual pattern that you need is, Odd, can you pop that in again, please? This one's going to take a little more concentration than I'm really willing to give it. So later on this week, I will have a video up about some stuff that I got in. So I got some cross-stitching supplies in. I also have a haul video. So I went and did a little bit of shopping on Saturday before I felt like I was dying. I went and had a little shopping. So I went ahead and did a haul video for that. No, Ashley, it is, I have tutorials. So in the tutorial and on the paper, I tell you exactly what you need. I have a haul video for you guys. I think you'll enjoy that. I got some amazing deals, including a Diamond Dots that I managed to get for $6. $6, y'all. And it's a big one. It's a partial, but it's a big one. So Beth says she would get so dark, part Native American, and my hair would get blonde streaks. Yeah, so talking about Native skin, so you guys can see, you know, those of you that don't know, I am half black and I'm half white. So I have a black parent and a white parent. I used to get a lot darker than I am now. And I would get blonde and red streaks in my hair because my mother's strawberry blonde. And so my dark brown hair would get red and gold streaks in it. And I remember people used to ask me like who my colorist was. And I'm like, well, it's the sun. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Some of that heritage starts coming out in weird ways. So when I had my DNA done last year, and they just updated about a month ago, I think, they updated the results. And turns out I think, was it 52% England, what is it? England, Wales, and Northwestern European. And then I am a whole bunch of different African countries. And then I'm 4% Scottish and Irish. And then I'm 1% Norwegian, by the way. So yeah, weird things show up. The fact sheet isn't working. Okay. Did we lose Odd? Odd, are you crocheting? All right, Ashley, if need to, I'll send it to you later on. I am 100% awesome most days. Sometimes I'm 100% bitch. That happens too. I think we can all relate to that. So Beth, do you mind sharing your DNA? There's Odd But Nice. She's got it. Try that link, Ashley. Yeah, so we're going to do all that. I'm pretty sure that I have located an alternative place for us to have our retreat. So I hope everybody here knows that I'm planning to host a retreat in Texas in October. And I'm pretty sure I found us another place to have it because with only about 15 of us, we can't have it in Temple. It's just too big of a space and too much money. So we are going to move the location. So be watching for that. Once we get through DP-a-thon this weekend, be watching for more information on the retreat. So February 1st, I'm going to kind of cut off signups. Not really, but kind of. And I'm going to take that number, and that's the number we're going to work with. So if any of your friends have been on the fence, if anybody's still thinking about going, Odd But Nice hasn't signed up yet. Y'all should make her come since she's going to be in Houston, or since she lives in Houston. You know, it's just down the road. Make sure that you get signed up for it. We'll go back over here. If she doesn't, the network will, right? What's weird, Odd But Nice? So I missed something. So Beth says she's mostly England with some Irish and Scottish and Scandinavian. Yeah. So I find it interesting. I'm fixing to get on my history soapbox. So if you don't like that, I apologize. I do find it interesting that people, especially on YouTube videos, because I did watch a lot of YouTube videos of people getting their results back. And I always found it interesting that people don't know history. So they would be like, oh, well, you know, they live in England. Their family has always lived in England. And then all of a sudden they've got some Roman that, like Italian that shows up. And I'm like, well, yeah, because the Romans invaded. Like, do you not know your history? Did you not have that course in school? You know, and then people that are like, oh yeah, I am Irish and Scottish, but where did this Norwegian come from? Can anybody say Vikings? Who has Vikings? Like, so I just, you know, it's stuff like that I don't understand. Now, you know, and that's not anticipating the surprises. So one of the surprises that did show up in mine that I was not anticipating was I actually did get 1% Sardinian. So from the island of Sardinia. And the reason that I was surprised by that is because it hadn't shown up on any of the rest of my family's DNA. So several of my family members have also done it. And with Ancestry, it matches you. And so it'll show you like what you have in common and what you got, you know, separately. So the only thing I can think is that must be from my father's side of the family. Which Italian in African is very interesting. That's a very interesting mix that you don't see a whole lot. So I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Beth, you've done it. So did you have any surprises, things that you were really surprised about? Oh, thank you so much, dearly. I know I haven't been watching like any of the, like I haven't seen anybody's videos in like days and days. I apologize. So Beth is 71% England and Wales, 26% Scotland and Ireland, and 3% Norway. Yeah, so that all jives together. That makes sense. People think 3 generations, not foundational generations. Yeah, that's a good point, Pippa. Yeah, so they are, the more people that they have, the better they're able to pinpoint those markers that people have in common. So if you have a family from Sardinia that's always lived in Sardinia, they're going to have certain genetic markers. And so they can take those and compare them to people like me where, it was 1%. So usually the smaller the percentage, the further back that it happened. So 1% tells me that was about 400 to 500 years ago when that DNA was introduced. The other thing people don't understand is you also inherit those genes. So I'm a native and know it because of history, but did not inherit those genes, so it does not show up. Yeah, and that's the cool thing. Hey, Nana, how are you? So I was watching a video. It's on YouTube, so you can find it if you really are interested in this. They did DNA tests for identical triplets, okay? They came from the same egg, identical triplets. And each of them came back with different DNA results. So that's one of the things that I think is really interesting. So like this one got more of the English. This one got more of the, let's say, French or whatever it was. I don't remember what their DNA results were. But yeah, so it was really interesting. And they did it through Ancestry. They did 23andMe. And they did what is the other one, the other big one? They did all 3 of the big major DNA kits, and they got different results. None of their results ever came back exactly the same. So that just goes to show to where I may have 4% Irish and Scottish. I'm willing to bet if my sister took the DNA test, that hers would come back and she'd probably have more Irish and Scottish in her because she's getting it from both sides, or she inherited more of it than I did. I'm just saying I'm the one with red hair. DNA is your genes. I'm probably not explaining it very well. So basically, your DNA is made up of, oh Lord. No, that's too deep for tonight. Anyway, so basically your genes, your DNA, they're the same thing. But you can inherit different amounts from your parents. So if they were to test siblings, one sibling may come up 54% English, and the next sibling may only come up 20% English. It's just a matter of those genes you get. So it's like having one sibling that has blue eyes, like my sister, and one sibling that has dark brown eyes, like me. Does that make sense? One sibling's blonde, the other sibling is brunette. Identical triplets have such differing origins if they're identical. Exactly. That's the question. That's the part that I found was really interesting. We've got about 4 minutes left, guys. And we can all go visit Sherry. I can have dinner because I am starving. You're 100% human, you think. As long as you don't have 2 heartbeats, we'll be okay. And if anybody understands that reference, kudos. So this is kind of what it's starting to look like now. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but yeah. So, Jen, is it just your plumbing or is your whole kitchen out of commission? Excuse me. But I thought identical was based on genetic tests, that they are saying basically you have one single egg and that is what makes them identical rather than genes. No, so the definition of identical twins versus fraternal twins is that they came from the same egg that split. So basically, I think Pippa is what they were basically proving is that identical is not actually identical. Like no two people are exactly the same. Even though they look the same, they may have split from the same egg. At a genetic level, they're different. I hope that makes sense. The drain that's rotten, so you can't use any water in the kitchen. Got it. So at least you can still cook, even though you need water sometimes to cook. If you can at least do that, that's not horrible. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start saying our goodbyes. I want to say thank you to everyone that has visited with me tonight. We do have DP-a-thon, and our lovely Creative Mayhem will be kicking that off 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday. And we will go Friday at 8 a.m. until Sunday night at midnight, which will be Monday for some people. So we're just going to keep working on this. We'll come back to this. Give you guys a week to ask your questions and all of that kind of stuff. And please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ding that little bell, the cowbell. Hit the cowbell. Hit it. Everybody needs more cowbell in their lives. You can learn so much information that might be a Jeopardy question. That's because I'm a big old nerd and I'm not ashamed of it. We're going over to, or at least I'm going over to hang out with Sherry for at least a little while. So I will see you guys next week. Please don't forget about the DP-a-thon. Mayhem's at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern on Friday. And again, most of us that are signed up will have a live, and some of us will have premieres. So thank you guys for coming. Go watch the video if you want to do the crochet along with us. It explains better because I didn't really do a very good job tonight of explaining what I'm doing. And until I see you next time, guys, remember, craft like somebody left the barn door open. Night.